Welcome back to AM Northwest. As any pet parent will tell you, animals can communicate. But our first guest took it a step further, actually teaching her dog to talk.
What do you think, baby?
Correct. Remember. Morning. Medicine.
Did I forget morning? I did forget morning medicine. Okay. Come on, let's do morning medicine, baby.
It's so amazing. Here to share the incredible story, we welcome the author of I Am Bunny, Alexis Devine, with Bunny. Alexis, this is so cool to talk with you. Would you have ever imagined when you first started teaching Bunny to talk that you would become this incredible sensation?
No, I really had no idea what was in store. I just wanted to share my journey of trying to have the deepest connection possible and the best communication. And we've come such a far way. I've learned so much about myself, and I've learned so much about dogs through the process. It's been really remarkable.
Okay, so tell me, what gave you the idea to try to teach Bunny to actually use those buttons to communicate with you?
Yeah, so I saw a speech language pathologist on social media that was trying a similar system, and personally having no business teaching a dog to talk, I said, yes, I'm going to do that too. And so before Bunny even came home, I had an outside button waiting for her by the door, and I just pressed it every single time we went outside. I would say the word outside, and then we would go outside and have a small outside party, and within just a few weeks, she pressed it herself for the very first time. And then it was sort of game on. I figured if we can do one button, why not 5? If we can do 5, why not 100? And we're at over 100 buttons now.
That's just amazing to me. And tell me about you and your mental health, because Bunny is a big part of that, right?
She is a big part of that. When I got her, I had these sort of dreams of her being able to fulfill a role of an emotional support animal for me. And it's actually quite the opposite. I am her emotional support human. It turns out she is a very anxious dog. She's got chronic health issues. And, in learning how to help her through some of her challenges, I learned how to help myself through my own behavioral challenges. I learned all about empathy in regards to my own history and in regards to looking at challenging behaviors in other humans, in non-humans. It's all about empathy. Learning to see from another being's perspective can really allow you to look at your own struggles through a more empathic lens.
Tell me about some of the issues you've been dealing with. I understand that you were diagnosed with autism. Is that correct?
Yep, I am diagnosed autistic, thanks to Bunny, as I was learning about augmentative and alternative communication, which is what these buttons were originally used for, nonverbal autistic humans or nonverbal humans in general.
Oh.
I started going down internet wormholes and learning. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I just was saying, yeah, because I go down the wormholes all the time. I'm just relating to it.
Yes, absolutely. And so I started reading about autism in women and why it is so much less frequently diagnosed. And I started relating to everything that I was reading and went on to get a formal diagnosis, which allowed me to reframe so many experiences in my past that I'd really struggled with. I had a very significant eating disorder for 25 years and
oh, wow.
therapy since I was 14, and no one was ever able to really get to the bottom of why I struggled so much with food and with control issues and with my own anxieties. And learning about Bunny and learning about how to communicate with her in these alternative ways has taught me so much about myself.
You have 2 other dogs, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Otter and Henrik. But do they speak as well? Do they talk as well? Or is really Bunny is the focus for you?
Bunny is definitely more communicative with the buttons than either Otter or Tenrek are. And I believe that is because of her anxiety, because she really needs a way to feel heard and seen. Yeah, before we were really using the buttons a whole lot, she would, for example, see something outside that made her feel concerned, and she would bark and bark and bark. And it was almost like a panic attack. The intensity and the duration were huge. And once I started labeling things, and once she could then also label things and we could be on the same page, that sound sensitivity, that reactivity to the stimuli outside decreased tremendously. So instead of seeing a great blue heron outside and just freaking out, I can say that's a bird. She can walk to her buttons and say that's a bird. We're on the same page, and then she can move past it. It's been really powerful for her in that way. And I think because of that, and because Tenrec and Otter are less anxious, they don't need that style of communication as much. I will say that Otter does use the buttons for evil primarily. For example, if Bunny has a toy or a bone that Otter wants, he'll go over to the buttons and he'll press go outside. I'm like, oh, good boy, using the buttons. And we'll walk to the door and Bunny will follow. And then as soon as Bunny is at the door, Otter will run and steal her bone.
Oh, wow. That's great. What is the funniest thing that Bunny has ever said?
You know what? There was a whole phase where she was obsessed with poop.
Yeah.
And she would call my partner out constantly.
Yeah.
Dad, poop, smell poop. Dad, go poop, poop now. So that was absolutely hilarious. And it reminded me of, you know, a developmental stage of a toddler where, you know, they're fascinated by bodily functions.
Right.
And she would make fart jokes too. She would say, play poop. And then she would do this thing where she sort of like laughs and pants and like wags her tail. And it took me forever to figure out what she was talking about. And then finally I did, and then we had a good laugh about it.
Oh, that's great. Would you suggest to anyone to try this, or do you think it might be you because you clearly work hard at this. It's not like, you know, 20 minutes a day. It seems like you spend a lot of time at this.
I did in the beginning, because it was the pandemic. I was a wearable art designer, then I got a dog, and then the pandemic hit, and then I wasn't working at all. So I was able to spend a lot of time with Bunny.
Got it.
Sorting out the process, but it doesn't have to take long at all, especially if you're just interested in allowing your animal companion to have a few simple requests like outside or play or potty or whatever the case may be. It really doesn't take that long. You can just sort of weave it into the fabric of your day.
I love it. You have a book out again. It's called I Am Bunny. And are you still doing the book event at Powell's at Cedar Hills Crossing?
Absolutely. I'm so excited for it.
Yes, you'll have a great time. So it's in Beaverton. We're going to put all the information on our website at k2.com. Again, I Am Bunny. Alexis, thank you so much. And Bunny, thank you.
Thank you so much for having me. This is a blast.
It was really fun. All right, we'll be right back with more AM Northwest. Don't go away.